We're happy to have you again. The topic has not changed. It's about addictions. We want to understand what addictions are and mental illnesses in our communities. Can someone recover without going to the rehab?
Can someone recover without going to rehab? Yes, it's a reality. People recover. The most important thing in addiction is appreciating that I have a problem. Actually, in rehabilitation, the major thing there, apart from detox, is psychological intervention all throughout. Detox, if someone has no comorbid conditions, comorbidities, these people who come in with other related mental disorders. So if someone's purely coming in without another mental disorder and just pure addiction, detox takes just like 14 days and the substance is out of the body, and then someone has to go through psychological intervention for the last 3 months or 6 months. So what does this mean? If someone stopped by himself and appreciates that I have a problem and he counsels himself, they can stop using substances.
However, this cannot drive out the drug out of the blood.
It can if you actually take long time minus using, because doing exercises detox, you can do a lot of gym work, you can sweat out. But however, the question there, or what I want to warn there, it's very dangerous to do self-detox. It's very dangerous to withdraw from these substances alone if you are not medically assisted by a professional doctor who would refer you to a clinical psychologist for continuous management. Why? Because some of these substances have very aversive withdrawal side effects. Alcohol, for example. When someone is with, actually alcohol is the most dangerous substance that can kill in a minute if someone is withdrawing. Its withdrawal symptoms are very, very dangerous because people can go into hypoglycemia, people can go into confusion, and then alcoholic coma, and what next will be death.
What is alcoholic coma?
Oh, yeah, maybe these are some of other issues we can discuss about, but when people do take alcohol a lot, intoxicate themselves, when someone is in alcoholic intoxication, he has taken a lot of alcohol beyond and is intoxicated, they either get rum fits, alcohol rum fits, they can fall down, or they can fit and jerk, and others go into coma. They cannot hear, they cannot listen, they cannot do anything. So what will happen is death.
Oh my
So it's a lot we can discuss around the science of addiction. It's a lot,
yeah. Oh my God. How do the drugs affect the child that is being born because of the parents using the drug?
How does the drug affect the child? It's very true, as I talked about it earlier, that if you go to alcohol, for example, some of these children, some of these mothers give birth to what we call FAS, fetal alcoholic syndrome babies. The baby is born with a big head. The baby is born with, a lot of learning disabilities. Okay. The baby is born and can take time to talk, can take time to walk, and also other effects. One of my ghetto youth I work with in the presidential initiative was giving testimony here, gave birth to that baby. She was using a lot of substances. Okay. But because we have been managing the baby always goes into also jerking. When they give birth to these babies, they are actually subjected to a lot of mental related disorders. They can actually go into withdrawal. For example, those ones who are using substances like heroin, cocaine down there, and they are pregnant. When they give birth to babies, these babies also go through withdrawals. So it can end up.
So they get those effects of withdrawal.
But of course, not leaving aside other mental related disorders like ADHD, conduct disorders, and personality disorders in children. Mostly for the mothers who use substances. So what is my call? When you're pregnant, mama out there, a better Ugandan, please don't use any substance, don't drink, and don't smoke.
What happens for those who have already got pregnant, they have been using?
Please, very important to stop, but also to seek for antenatal, and also very important to disclose to your physician and disclose to your gynecologist that I've been using such a substance. I've been injecting myself. Actually, so many youth are injecting here in Uganda. Some people don't know this. It's a reality. Youth in Uganda are using injectable drugs. Health professionals mentioned but a few. But when someone is doing that, please seek for medical care. Talk to your gynecologist, take to your physician so that they can be able to manage and help. If you are pregnant and you have been using substances.
How can communities support people after treating them?
Yes,
so that they do not lapse.
Community intervention is very serious key, and in my PhD program, I'm looking more into developing a model, which is a community model that looks at continuity of care. Continuity of care is when people leave rehabilitation and treatment, just like these ones for the skilling of the ghetto youth for the presidential initiative. My work or the community arm is very important because there is follow-up. You need to go and follow up these individuals. You need to work with them and you need to appreciate them back. You have to appreciate that they went into substance use not because they wanted. You have to appreciate that not all of them started using drugs due to peer pressure. Others were due to maybe biological factors, environmental factors, and other factors, maybe unemployment. So they need to be talked to down there in the community. They need a support system. We need to bring them support system. We need to care. We need to look after them and reintegrate them back into work. I thank you so much, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the State House Comptroller, for appreciating that the ghetto youth who were into substances rehabilitated. After rehabilitation, they are put into skilling and they're reintegrated back to work. I think that is the way to go.
Thank you, Dr. Mikumbi. I have one very growing concern.
Yeah.
Yes, we've talked about rehabilitation, but most importantly, we have kept on talking about Butabika. Are there other national centers where people can be rehabilitated? Because this country has sub-regions and regions.
Yeah.
So I want you to give me, do we have a tier of response centers?
Yeah, I think to my knowledge, I always want to put disclaimers. I'm not the spokesperson for Ministry of Health. However, I appreciate the work for the Ministry of Health and the arms they have put. In each regional referral hospital currently, they have created a psychiatric department.
Okay.
The only link missing is attaching a clinical psychologist.
Okay.
Because we are actually only 6 clinical psychologists employed by the Republic, the government of the Republic of Uganda. Then the addiction specialists. In the government, we are just like 2 or 3 employed as addiction specialists, as clinical psychologists. The psychiatrists need to be given room in the national referral and regional referral hospitals. But I have to appreciate that currently, if you went to Buhinga, with Potro, there is a psychiatric unit to support that region. If you went to Kabale, there is a psychiatric unit. If you went to Mbale, there is a psychiatric unit. If you went to Jinja Regional Referral Hospital, it's there. If you went to Mbarara, we have a psychiatric unit there that's placed with psychiatrists. So we just need to see that the government can put in more effort even in general hospitals. But not only that, down in the community. What about that villager in Ruwoka? What about that villager from Bulike village where I come from?
The family should take control.
Yeah, no, the VHTs, yeah?
The VHTs,
we need to put VHTs there and train them on how to handle. How do we encourage people to seek for care? How do we assess, at least basic assessment of people battling with substance use disorder?
But I think we have left out a link whereby, I don't know whether Butabika and other centers run outreach kind of engagements?
Oh yes, they do. Yeah, but of course the budget, budget constraints, and I want to make a very big cry. The budget should be added more for mental health. It's been an outcry that mental health has always been the neglected thing. If it's a cake and it's a national cake, Butavika eats icing sugar.
But icing sugar is the sweetest.
It's very small,
but sweet. Wow.
It's very tiny. So Butavika should be given a very big cake on the national cake and budget. Why? Without a better mental health, without mental health in individuals, you cannot be productive. Without better mental state, you cannot be here in the studio, and you cannot sit on that desk or that table to sign a check or to do accountability.
Very true.
Yeah.
Dear listeners and viewers, we're so grateful for having you for all this time, listening in and watching us. We believe that the topic today is a very, very, very serious issue that is really dreading our communities, our families, our students in schools, and our workplaces. And the earlier you seek guidance, support, or help, medical support, the better to recover for your life. Dr. Bikumbi, I want you to give parting shots for this moment.
Yes, once again, I'm Grace Bikumbi, clinical psychologist, and I want to encourage you, dear viewers and listeners out there, we can make it and we can thrive. If we seek for help, early intervention is better than late intervention. Can we seek for mental health help? Can we look for professionals? Can we seek for care? If you have any challenges, if you have issues with sleep, you have sleeping disorders, you have anxiety-related problems, you can't speak in people, you tremor when you're speaking in people, you have depression, and the next step is I want to end my life, things are not moving on, you have financial problems on unemployment, please seek for professional support. We can help you get better. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening, and wish you the better weekend or weekday, and wish you peace at your work. Yes, thank you very much once again, and I want to encourage you that I've worked with so many ghetto youth out there who are now productive as the producer side. Most of them have turned from being criminal to actually productive youth, because we have integrated rehabilitation with skilling to change mindsets. I've written a book which is Hope in the Struggle, Finding Strength in Recovery, a book that is on live stories of these ghetto youth who were into treatment, and they gave their testimony about how they got into substance use, including the science of the family story, how their child was better and how this child went into addictions and went into ghetto. Please, you can get yourself a copy so that you can also save your family and you can save your children. You can reach me at 0774 306896, or you can reach me at 0704 556223. Get yourself a copy. It helps both the professionals, the family, and that one who is battling from substance use. Thank you very much once again. Thank you, Citizen Baraza.
Thank you, dear listeners and viewers, for this moment of truth. We have had success stories for the transitioning persons from being addicts to the responsible and developmental Ugandans. We believe that the government of Uganda is doing whatever it takes to see that its population is a productive population. Confirmations from His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni have been that all Ugandans should find something to do. But as Dr. Bikumbi has stated, A mentally ill person or an addict cannot have the chance to sit, listen, do a productive work, and earn an income. For the strategy to drive all Ugandans into the money economy, it is really important, or it is very, very important that all Ugandans have a clear and stable mindset, or mental health, a clear and stable mental health, to be able to be productive humans, to serve this country, to participate in every government policy directions that are being implemented. Talk about the PDM, talk about Emyoga, and many others. I want to call upon all the youth, all the ghetto children, talk about people in the workspaces, teachers in schools, community leaders, to take note of these habits in our communities, because an addict is one person who cannot even survive for a minute before they take that substance that they have to take. Therefore, you'll see vices of theft in your community just because someone needs to go and buy a substance to take. You'll see lies just from a person to just survive. You'll see traits like of isolation just for someone to hide somewhere and take something. So you need to be keen and take charge of your families, take charge of your children, so that no chance is left for these addictions to thrive. But we get hold on to them and sort our communities. I want to thank you all for staying with us on the Citizen Baraza at the Government Citizen Interaction Center, an open government initiative that brings you information. We build a gap for information. Thank you.